I'm now joined by T City Brian Ortega, and you last competed in October of last year, but it seems like just yesterday. It's pretty incredible. The hangover's still sticking with me about how impressive you were in that fight.
It was yeah, man, it feels like a long time for me. My hair is growing out now. Everything's different and I've had two camps now, so it almost feels like I'm in my third fight since October, work-wise.
Well, I haven't been sitting around waiting for a title shot, so it seems faster to me. I sit around watching the fights every week, so that's why it seems like it's been sooner for me. But with that in mind, the improvement that you made from the Holloway fight to the zombie fight, given that you were with a new camp and working with all kinds of new people, the improvement was so clear and so vivid when we watched that fight. Do you feel like it's an advantage to you that this fight's been drawn out a little bit longer because you just have more time to learn and pick up new tools along the way?
100%. This is I've been saying it, and I said it in the zombie camp. That was the first time I was, like I said, climbing this new mountain of learning. I feel like a beginner again in the sport. I'm learning things. I'm questioning things. I'm doing things. I'm having the trial and error phase again, right? Where a lot of people don't have that. They're more stuck in their ways. They're setting their foundation, and that's who they are. I'm the opposite. I'm learning a lot right now, and it's sometimes it's overwhelming, but it's the journey, like the journey is amazing. So having these two back-to-back camps, I've just downloaded more information and gotten better. So it for sure helps, and it is to my advantage.
Now, because you're working with these new folks, they don't know you as well as the previous team that you had. They knew you for such a long time. But because of that, you were so loyal to them that it was hard for you to really speak up and tell them what you needed at that time. Is that different this time around? If you have anything that you need to
No,
say
I
to this
spoke up
team?
before. I spoke up before on what I needed. I was very vocal with what I needed, even with my last team. It just never happened. With my new team, uh, very vocal. Same thing. I'm vocal about what I feel like I need, my concerns, my and anything that I feel like talking about. I can talk to him about it, and then we figure it out, and we resolve it.
So, what's the biggest difference in terms of the communication this time around versus last time around?
It's a two-way street with communication versus a one-way street.
So this fight against Volkanovski has been again, it's been lingering for some time. You guys have done a season of The Ultimate Fighter. I watched the season; it was great. It was great seeing. It was great watching you teach. Really, I think that that was
Thank
one
you.
of the things that early on in the show was very apparent was that you were really reaching your students a lot quicker than Volkanovski did. Now, of course, the momentum changed a little bit as the show went on, but watching you work with people, you could tell they were learning all these things that they just had never been able to have access to in the past.
Teaching was my first job. I was a blue belt instructor at the Gracie University, and that was the way I made money. I never had a real job, besides a couple of jobs I took, but that was even just to gain experience. It wasn't something that was a necessity. Teaching was my first job. It became my passion, and had it not been for me having a successful fighting career thus far, I would be teaching right now. I would be having a happy teaching career. I love teaching people. I love seeing them grow. I love taking them from white belt to blue belt to further. Watching it's something beautiful that some people don't you might not see. Especially when it's civilians and not just fighters. I like teaching civilians, right? Because I feel like having just this confidence of knowing you can take care of yourself no matter where you go will allow you to have freedom in life. A lot of us don't do things in life based off of fear. Remove the fear, and then you start to enjoy life, right? You have the confidence. You feel good about yourself. you look good, you're training, you're choking people out, you know, and it's a you see these guys and you're giving them that, you know, and they come back to say, hey man, like I had the confidence to talk to the girl now because you know like I'm getting choked out for my life, so what like what's worse? Like I could just go talk to a girl. Like, I'm getting choked out over here every day, and you just see different things. Up down to the kids, down to the kids. They're doing better in school. They're doing like that is my passion, you know. And it kind of changed to fighting, but whenever I get a chance to go and teach and do something like I take full advantage of it. And sometimes I just sit there and watch class and pretend, what would I do if I was teaching? And and I miss it, you know. So it was fun being in there and being a teacher.
And you were once that kid, and you've come such a long way in your career. Once again, having a title shot. Going back to the zombie fight, I want to get your opinion on something. What was a more impressive performance, you against Zombie or Max Holloway against Calvin Kattar? If you had to be objective about this one.
I would say I would pick the Max Holloway fight. It was just it was a beautiful performance, you know. The way he picked the shots, the way he went in there and outdid his best, even against me, that was a good shot, you know. Like that was a really good performance, down to like the slipping and dodging and moving and like pointing. The man was on fire that night.
He says he's not sparring anymore. Do you believe him when he says that, or do you think that that's for show?
I have no idea, you know. I don't. Yeah, whatever he's doing is working.
Yeah, he was in his element, that's for sure. Um, so with the Ultimate Fighter, I'm curious, what did we not see? Tell me the wildest thing that happened on that show that didn't air, and was there ever a moment where things got so heated that that they had to omit it from the show?
Nah, I think me calling him and telling him to shut the f- up was probably like the most heated time we had there. Again, man, reminded we did this show like not having problems with each other. You know, people tried to stir up the pot in the show. You know, and it it it, it just wasn't. Yeah, we don't really have. At least I don't really have an issue, right?
Do you think
Moments
that's
that
because?
happen in the show.
Sorry,
What's
go ahead,
up?
Brian.
No, no, handle. Talk to me.
Do you think that's because you grew up in kind of a hostile environment? Like you've kind of seen it all. So to have just like this controlled environment and people trying to find ways to get under your skin, it probably just doesn't do much for you.
Uh, yeah, you're 100% right. I would go in there and I'd kind of just laugh about these situations, and it was hard to take serious. Unless unless I'm being threatened, I don't have a need to, you know, or unless I really get angry, I don't have a need to be physical nor even verbal towards you. Have you brought more of a have you brought more, you know, digs at me or more like legit trash talk, then I probably then the show would have been different. But uh, I think he doesn't have that factor in being that person either because he seems like a nice guy as well. You know, he doesn't seem like a piece of. So it's hard for him to even try to be one on the show. That's why I was kind of confused. Like, bro, why are you trying to be? Just stop. Just be yourself. Let's kill the world with kindness and show them that there could be two coaches that can not hate each other and still like pull pranks on each other and have a good time, and then yet beat the out of each other when it comes down to fight night.
You mentioned the pranks. I've pulled a lot of pranks in my day. The clock prank is one of the worst pranks I've ever seen in my life. Like I don't know how he thought that was gonna do anything to you.
I don't know. Yeah, and even yeah, it just some things like even when we there's a thing where I took my car off the lot and kind of started drifting it and driving like a madman with that professional driver Octavio, and I didn't make the show because he was like, "You risked your life, and if something would have happened," and it's just like it turned into something. It's pretty bad. So I mean, bad for them, not for me. But I had a fun time doing that. Reckless, right? I was reckless. So
And final question for you, Brian. I mean, people when they watch the sport, they love the known and they love the unknown. Like we're seeing all these weird circus fights going on, but in terms of the known, we know we're going to get high level fighting between yourself and Alexander Volkanovski. Now, the one unknown I think about this card is what Nick Diaz is going to look like. You're from California. I'm sure you look up to Nick Diaz. What's it like to have him on this card with you?
it's amazing. I feel great to be on the same card as him. You know, this is when I look at people I want to be on cards with, there's only a handful. He's there. You know, like the West Coast is there. We're like it's yeah, it's dope. You know, it represents.
I think that you pretty much summed it up there. It's hard to even put into words to share a card with a legend like
Yeah.
Nick Diaz. Well, appreciate your time, Brian. Best of luck against Alexander this Saturday, UFC 266. And it's always a pleasure to watch you do your thing and to get to speak with you. So thank you.
Thank you, boss.